This morning, I was asked a very important question, and it's kind of stuck with me, so I wanted to make a video. The question was, how can I learn to just trust God more? Not just believe in Him, but truly trust Him to the point where when something arises in my life, my faith is louder than my fear. Now, it took me some time. I'll be the first to tell you, I have moments where worry tries to sneak in, but here's what I've learned. Every single time that worry knocks at my door, God gently reminds me, I got you. When we talk about trusting God, we're not just talking about believing He'll show up. We're talking about releasing control. We're talking about taking our hands off the situation and saying, Father, I know you can handle this better than I can. And when you spend time, one-on-one time with God, even if it's just 30 minutes out of your day, He has a way of calming those fears and the worry. He's your loving Father. He wants to take all that heaviness from you. He really does. He's your everything. And He'll never let you down. Someone right now, you could have applied for a new position. Maybe you're thinking about relocating, whatever the situation is. Maybe you're waiting on a call back, and here comes the enemy, filling your mind with the what ifs. What if they don't call back? What if I don't hear anything? What if I don't get the position that I'm trying to get? What if I can't pay my bills? Before you stress yourself sick, take it directly to God first. God first, and then, talk to your friends and family. And just say, God, you can see what's up ahead for me. Will this job allow me more freedom? Will this move be good for me? Will I be able to get back to doing the things I love? God already knows what you've been through. He saw how stressed you were at your old job, old situation. He saw the toxic environments you were around. He saw how certain people were draining your energy, and He just wants what's best for you. And maybe you're praying for your dream position, but God can see you in a different position, happier and worry-free. And as your loving Father, like I said, He knows what's best. So when you take everything to Him, trust that He will place you exactly where you need to be. And listen, I get it. Sometimes worry still wins in the moment. You're waiting on some good news and the anxiety starts to rise up. My advice is always just kind of stop what you're doing and just go sit with God in prayer. Allow Him to just take that worry away. Quick story time. I remember talking about this on an old video on this channel. A while back, I was worried about something that I needed to pay. I didn't have the funds at the time, and I was worried. But I prayed about it, took it to God. And even though I did all that, I was still worried. And, something amazing happened. I was driving that day and I saw a sign on the road. It says, I'm never late. And I was able to get the money. And I was so grateful. I felt like this wave of peace wash over me because God never lets me down. And I have to remind myself, like, girl, He is always there. Like, chill. I knew it was God. I couldn't do nothing but smile. Once you give your worries, whatever's going on in your life, to your Heavenly Father, leave it alone. Do not go pick it back up. God said, you're trusting me to bring the right partner, the right job, the right move into your life. Take your hands off of it and just allow me to work. If you're one of those people who worry more than you trust, you are not alone. Today, let's make a decision together. Let's choose faith over fear. Let's choose trust over worry. And let's watch God move in ways we never thought possible. I love you. Take care.